How you going? Gene Hardy here on set. Surf injury prevention. This is not how you do it.
Yes.
Just wondering what to do about the hole in my face.
Come on baby, take a chance with me. Don't change the channel like you're watching TV. Turn up the volume, I've got more to say. I think if we could start conversing, we'd be chatting all day. And in the evening we could choose to roll our spliff, cook some dinner and kick off our shoes. Step into night, we could live our delight. Come together in a frenzy when the feeling's alright. And in the morning I bet there would be time for toast, another spliff, a cup of rooibos tea. We got the music and we got the time. We got rhythm, we got music, we got Cape Town sunshine. You're not the only one left to live, too many paths to choose. I've got a bridge to burn. Love has expressed is true. It seems our time is through. I wouldn't lie to you. I wanna go now. Love has expressed is true. Don't get so stressed with me. You're not the only fish who's swimming in my sea. Love has expressed is true. It's not like you care, but I thought you'd understand. Another day, I'd have more to say, but playtime is over, I'll be on my way. Another date, we could stay up late, climb the roof, watch the stars intertwine our fates. Under another sun, I will be the one.
Hi, I'm Rafe Jennings, local around Margaret River. I'm here at Redgate. I've always wanted to surf my whole life, but I never really got into it till now. And I've seen some pretty gnarly injuries, and I want to be as safe as I can, because some of the injuries that happened around here have been pretty detrimental to careers. And I've contacted local Brett Hardy to kind of guide me through the ways of surfing, I guess you could say. And he's pretty experienced, so I should learn quite a bit from him. Right now I'm pretty excited to go to the pro and talk to some people about how to prevent injuries and what sort of injuries they've been through, just to build up experience so I can get out there and do what everyone wants to do. So.
Welcome to the future, here we go. I'm a new type of human, Earth 2.0. I'm plugged in everywhere I go. You're now tuned in to the Spinner Face Show. Space cowboy, futuristic rock star. Follow me to the sounds of my guitar. Hyperspaced out, here we go. You're now tuned in to the Spinner Face Show. I'm a satellite superstar.
Alright, Sally, first, where are you from?
I'm from Jiraebnerbond, which is a small little coastal town on the New South Wales south coast.
Throughout your surfing career, what's the gnarliest injury you've sustained or maybe seen with a mate?
I'd probably say Fiji last year ago. I was surfing Cloudbreak with my brother, and it was a solid day, and I thought I could make this one on the inside, and I was kind of inside the barrel and just got kind of exploded and hit the reef pretty bad, and I fell on my side, and you can see all the little scars and stuff on my shoulders, and I actually broke my arm when I landed.
One I remember was the guy's actually fallen off on the takeoff and he's like dislocated his shoulder,
And so that was from hitting the water. The impact was
the impact of hitting the water. He's pulled his shoulder out, and his shoulder was like down here, and it's like he's just paddled up to going, oh, I think I've hurt my shoulder. I'm just like, oh my god.
Information like water flow. You wanna hear me, call my phone. You wanna see me, watch my video. You wanna find me, Google my phone.
Mate, the gnarliest injury I've ever come across would be my forehead, mate. I got it blown open with my surfboard, like 27 stitches in the face. North Point? Yeah, like in 1997. The last wave of the day, kind of picked it and I was in the tube and the thing just flicked up and like a baseball bat in the head, mate. Yeah, just kind of grabbing the rail and it blew me in the air and my board just came up and just glanced. It was like a glancing blow reef and it split the forehead and my the membrane between your skull and your forehead as well.
Check it out, it's hella dope. You don't need the sun to see a microscope. Do it now, live it be it live, it's a live you see.
My board went over the falls and basically stuck into the reef like a nose first, just stopped dead, and then I went over the falls and kind of impaled myself on my butt with my board and kind of hung there for a bit.
Like on the tails and fins.
On the back fin.
Who is that man from New York all the way to Japan?
What's the most gnarliest injury you've ever come across?
The gnarliest injury I've ever come across is an easy one for me to relay back to you. I cross-fractured 2 central vertebrae in my thoracic spinal column here. I fractured 2 further vertebrae, so I actually fractured 4 vertebrae in all. I punctured in one incident, yep. Punctured my lung and also cracked a rib in that same accident.
So, how did that happen?
We had a big day out at a wave just south of here one day, and to cut a long story short, mate, I basically got catapulted out of the lip on a big one, and the fins unglued at the takeoff, so I thought, well look, I'll try and dive into the green wall section of the wave, and as I did so, I didn't penetrate, and I hyperflexed my spine by having my head go between both my legs.
One of the most painful ones was the end of a surf out at Margs. I came in just last re-entry at the last part of the wave, what they call the surgeon's table. Came unstuck, went feet first in the water, and my board had already hit the bottom, was on its way back, and I copped the rail under the nose. It literally peeled my nose off my face. It opened up the 2 nostrils, was a big gaping hole, and actually tore my nose up the side.
Alright, we're joined here with a local chick, Elle, and I'm going to ask her a few questions. Alright, Elle, what do you look for in a man?
I mean, he's got to like the beach, he's got to be sun smart, don't want him having cancers all over his body when he's a bit older, so...
You don't want those warts?
No,
It's not good in the bedroom, is it?
No, definitely not. It doesn't look
yeah, I was
attractive.
thinking that.
Yeah. So maybe cap, long shirt.
Maybe socks and sandals.
Socks and sandals, oh, sexy, super sexy.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And a bit of sunscreen, look after that skin, keep it young and fresh. Yeah.
So what's the first thing you think when you go to the beach?
Get me in the water?
Wrong, no.
Oh.
No, the first thing you think when you go down to the beach?
Well, I put sunscreen on.
John McTaggart. I've been a surfer on this coast for about 40 years, and I've also been a physiotherapist for the last 26 years. And in that time, I've seen many surfers get injured and worked out various ways of getting them back in the water. The thing about having a fractured wrist is to get it diagnosed properly and get it set properly, and then once the cast is off, rehab your wrist so you've got full range of movement and strengthen your arm. And that process will probably take about 6 months. A dislocated shoulder, first time usually not too bad in terms of the rehab, and that mainly involves doing a lot of work with strengthening the muscles around the shoulder so that the joint is quite stable. But if it happens twice, then the likelihood is you'll have to have surgical intervention. In view of equipment and causing injuries, obviously, there's a lot of sharp points on a board, and particularly the fins these days are refined very sharp, and they can definitely cut you. So it's a good idea to talk to a local shaper.
Full-on beginner, a soft board's the go, definitely. They generally have a bit flexier fins and stuff, so they're not going to cut you, and obviously the board itself, when it hits you, it's not going to hurt as much. Okay, for sure. So probably tail-wise, probably not the swallowtail. Go for a squash tail or round tail, something with soft edges, and preferably a blunt nose, which a mini mal style board or a fish like this will generally have a bit rounder nose, and or a nose cone if it's got a pointy nose. And fins wise, there is fins on the market with sort of rubber tips and stuff. That could be a good option. Otherwise, plastic fins instead of fiberglass.
If I'd had a helmet on, if I'd had my helmet on, it would have hit my helmet and bounced off. Because like a helmet's got the big bit of foam thing there, and the helmet, simple as that. If I had a helmet, I wouldn't have to.
Yeah, it would save your life. Yeah, so the thing with head injuries is if you get hit in the head on the land and you're knocked unconscious, somebody can pick you up, take you to hospital. But if that happens in the ocean, you're dead. Around about $100 up to about $190, depending which model you buy.
The object is to ride a wave inwards, so if you're in the road, you really are in the wrong. And not that you should be run over for it, but people do not paddle into the whitewater. Their panic mechanism takes over, and they paddle for the shoulder, so now you've got a curling wave dropping on you, could snap your board, and a surfer charging down the line at you. The risk is so much less to just paddle into the whitewater, even if you've got to use your leg rope if there's no one behind you, but it's safer in the whitewater. So, and what I do see, particularly over here on the west coast with powerful waves, is visitors abandoning their boards, and they have a responsibility to the surfer that's coming at them, and particularly if he's doing his best to avoid hurting them, to hold their own board. And with modern thin boards, you should be able to duck dive it, hang on to it, even if it's at your own, you get knocked around yourself. It's not rocket science, we're just getting washed in and having a bit of fun. So if someone cares to wait out the back and wait for a good wave, it's nice if they're rewarded. And for safety, we use the furthest guy inside, and that's indisputable.
When did we decide to draw a picture in our mind of what we have to be like in 10 or 20 years' time? When did we decide that we would have to strive for more and more, missing all the precious moments that we're in? When did we make a plan to have to be that other man, just because we can do better than that? When did we make a plan to live life by clock hands, and why are we all rushing around? We run past the pretty things, run right past the messages we should hear. Every living day, be, I'm telling you, just be, I'm telling you, you're You're tiring yourself out. Be, I'm telling you, just be. I'm telling you, you're running on the spot. My heart beats like a steam train moving down the track, and I feel like calling it all in. My mind ticks like clockwork, thinking for the things that I could be doing with my time. But you need a license or a permit, or to pay some stupid fee to do anything about anything these days. You need a name or a number, a certain kind of face, or rights to a bit of space to do anything these days. And I'm falling into this old trap, and I really think it's just a load of crap. I'm falling into this money game. It's monopolies that I don't want to play. And how can we make claim on any of this anyway? As far as I'm aware, we borrow the very air we breathe, and the air is pretty clean. But we suffocate in greed, and the air is pretty clean. But we suffocate in greed.
Fast as lightning.